By Zosha Millman, SEATTLEPI, kamm staff. New Jersey Senator Cory Booker made a big splash on Tuesday when he introduced a bill that would legalize marijuana on the federal level by removing it from the Controlled Substances Act. The question now is, will there be more waves from this splash? Like all things federal, the road is not exactly simple. The bill, titled the Marijuana Justice Act, would merely remove marijuana from the list of Schedule I substances where it currently sits, along with the likes of heroin. It would still be up to states to regulate it, but the path would be a lot less hampered by federal red tape. But the ambitious Marijuana Justice Act would do more than just deschedule marijuana. The bill would also provide framework for changing how the cannabis system is treated by the federal government. Namely, by removing cannabis from the Controlled Substances Act, retroactively expunging federal use and possession crimes, incentivizing states through federal funding to change their marijuana laws, and withholding federal funds states that have a disproportionate arrest rates for minority and low-income individuals arrested for cannabis offenses, providing a route for those currently serving term in prison for marijuana use or possession to petition a court for resentencing, creating a reinvestment fund for communities most affected by the war on drugs. Booker, a longtime opponent of the war on drugs, stressed the bill's importance on his Facebook Live announcement, given the disproportionate targeting of vulnerable communities, like people of color or veterans, under cannabis prohibition. Not only is war on drugs taking billions and billions of our taxpayer money, but we are not seeing the equal application of the criminal justice system, Booker said. These are charges that follow people for the rest of their lives. We need to seek not just to change law, but be agents of restorative justice. Marijuana's Schedule I classification has been a major impediment for scientists to access and better understand the drug. And though about 2/3 of the country favor legalizing marijuana, Attorney General Jeff Sessions has made his thoughts on the matter anti-marijuana quite clear. Related, here's how the spending bill protects medical marijuana. Cannabis is legal, in one form or another, in 29 states plus Washington, D.C., and nearly 20% of Americans have access to legal pot. But until Booker's bill, sweeping reforms, let alone systemic overhauls, have been few and far between. Tom Angel, chairman of the Marijuana Majority, called Booker's bill the single most far-reaching marijuana bill that's ever been filed in either chamber of Congress. It goes way beyond a prior bill, introduced by Sen. Bernie Sanders, to merely remove cannabis from the D's Schedule I and allow states to set their own policies. But a far-reaching bill doesn't go anywhere without a broad support base, and many aren't hopeful for its chances in a Republican-controlled Congress with a president who's iffy on cannabis at best. Sen. Booker introduces federal marijuana legalization bill as of Tuesday morning. The bill did not have any co-sponsors, though it's perked a few ears, but Booker mentioned he was working on drumming up bipartisan support. Angel, at least, hopes senators consider the changing tide of cannabis popularity in the U.S. before dismissing it outright. More than just getting the federal government out of the way so that states can legalize without the harassment, this new proposal goes even further by actually punishing states that have bad marijuana laws, Angel said in a statement. Polls increasingly show growing majority voter support for legalization, so this is something that more senators should be signing onto right away. Though the bill will also likely face some pushback from citizens, the Senate has made steps to halt Sessions' power to interfere with state marijuana laws, overwhelmingly approved the Rohrabacher-Blumenauer amendment in July, which prevents the Department of Justice from using federal funds to prosecute medical cannabis users in states with decriminalization. Related opinion. Sessions' hardline on pot doesn't help anyone. At the very least, many are seeing Booker's full-throated embrace of legalization as a signal that the Democratic Party is moving forward on cannabis, and framing it as a multifaceted issue. For decades, the failed war on drugs has locked up millions of nonviolent drug offenders, especially for marijuana-related offenses, at an incredible cost of lost human potential, torn apart families and communities, and taxpayer dollars, Booker said. This legislation is the right thing to do for public safety, and will help reduce our overflowing prison population.